stuff like that. And that's what he needed to do to be able to catch John. So he had a better second round than the first, and then it led to the third, and we saw what happened in the third. But definitely wasn't the most entertaining. But we saw what we saw. We saw Jones be dominant, and that's what I think most people expected at that point. I picked Gustafsson as well, and that was maybe because of recency bias. I was kind of like, I don't know how John is going to take fighting someone like this, the man who almost beat him, and now he has to deal with the whole drug testing debacle right before the fight. So I didn't know what his mentality was. I didn't know how John Jones was going to be able to go into the fight and be focused enough to defeat Alexander Gustafsson, but obviously he proved me wrong. So
yeah, I was a little biased too. I was kind of hoping. It was more like hoping Gus would win because the ring rust, and the last time he was out, he come back against OSP. He didn't really look the same, and all that. But in my opinion, the show stealer and the show revolved around Amanda Nunes. Like,
yeah,
when she made that walk, she was looking confident. Cyborg looked confident too. I mean, when they met in the middle and they had that face off, they just looked like, okay, let's do this. And then Cyborg was kind of tagging her. Cyborg tagged her a little bit, and I think when she hit her, Amanda and her just kind of had that moment where they kind of just agreed to fight. Like, forget technique, forget our game plans. Let's just see who can hit who harder. And Cyborg played a deadly game with Amanda Nunes, and she was throwing like she was throwing a fastball. And I was, it was, you know how the fights are later in the night when you're staying up to watch the pay-per-view. I was screaming, "Oh my God!" I couldn't believe it. Woke my wife up, woke the kids up. Just it was probably the most shocking moment I can recall.
You know what's crazy is that usually I am that same person where I see something shocking and I'm like, because with the Chad Mendes and Alexander Volkanovski fight, I was screaming my head off towards the end of it. And then when we got to Cyborg and Nunes, when the exchange happened and Cyborg went face down, I didn't make a word. I didn't know what to say. All I know is that like my hands were shaking because I had no idea what I just saw, and I just couldn't believe it. I was still in shock maybe about 2 days later. But the I don't know, just the environment that happened in. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone was probably behind Cyborg when the fight happened or when it was announced, and then we started getting more and more promotion for it and stuff. And it's 2 women's champions, 2 Brazilians. I mean, they had a great backstory. And for it to be over so quickly, I had no idea how to react. I was shocked, but I was silent shocked because I just couldn't believe what happened.
Yeah, a lot of people, I think the overwhelming audience, and the Vegas odds had Cyborg clearly. And I talked to Ty and John, and you said you picked Cyborg. I think me and one other person that I can really think of off the top of my head picked Nunes. I had Nunes by decision. I thought she was going to win, 3 rounds to 2. I thought it was going to be a close fight. Because Cyborg, I mean, she bullies people. And Amanda, it seemed like Cyborg, and, excuses, you can't make excuses. But it seemed, like I said, like in that split second where they met, and then there's that one moment where Amanda leg kicks her, and then it all starts. I think right after that leg kick, Cyborg just threw the game plan out the window, threw everything out the window, and said, "I'm just going to charge her." And when she charged, it was 51 seconds in total. It seemed like it was too quick. Like I kept waiting for him to start over, but it was over.
Yeah, and that was the craziest thing. I think that when they first got in there and Amanda first landed, because I also said the same thing. Cyborg bullies people in the cage. No one is ever going to or has ever dominated her, at least not in that regard. But Amanda Nunes does the same thing at bantamweight. She's a big girl for bantamweight, so a lot of people feel like she'd be better suited for featherweight. And I think the extra 10 pounds definitely helped her out. We knew she hit hard already, but nobody knew if that was going to be enough for someone like Cyborg. But it clearly was, and I think that when Cyborg first got hit, she realized, no, she can definitely hit hard. This is going to be a problem. Let me try and finish it early and then call it a day. But once you throw caution to the wind like that and you come in with your hands down against someone like Amanda Nunes, you're going to have a terrible night. And that's exactly what happened with Cyborg. I mean, it was one of the most shocking things. I don't know if it could be considered an upset. It probably is, considering how long Cyborg has been dominant in her weight class. But people have had Nunes. They had Nunes winning. You had Nunes winning. I thought if she was going to win, she might need to take it to the ground. But yeah, I was proven wrong, and I couldn't be more happier, because those are the kind of fights that you're like, yeah, I need to come back and watch the next pay-per-view and see what they're going to do next.
And 20 years from now, when we're older, we'll think back when Cyborg's retired and Amanda's retired and the UFC is wherever the UFC is. We'll be able to say, hey, we watched that night.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something I'm so thankful for, because I don't even know how I'm going to explain it to people when I'm older. I just know it was one of those, oh my God moments. I think I even tweeted that out. I was just like, oh my God, I have no idea what's happening.
It was, and then like Cyborg, I thought Cyborg was going to do a Ronda Rousey. But this is bullshit. This is, I'm the greatest, I'm the champ. She got lucky. And in Cyborg's, to her credit, she was like, no, the better fighter won on the night. She caught me, I'll be back. But I don't feel like they do an immediate rematch. If you're the UFC, and I get it, it's Cyborg, she's never lost, never been knocked out. Especially, she's never even been tested, let alone dealt with like that.
Yeah.
I get it, but at the same time, I think they don't. If it's up to me, what's next for for Amanda Nunes is Holly Holm at 135. Because that's it. Like, she's beat everybody except Holly. Literally, Holly is the only woman for her left.
Yeah, that's true. I did think about that, because you got to think the women's featherweight division is not the most stacked at the moment. There aren't a lot of contenders, and the 145 women that they had on the most recent season of The Ultimate Fighter, a lot of them want to drop down and weight to 135. So there's definitely a disconnect in that division. And Cyborg, that was her division. She was supposed to be reigning. So now that Amanda is at the top, I would definitely agree. I mean, me personally, I feel like an immediate rematch is warranted here. I know the finish was very, very definitive, but for someone who's been reigning so long, like take it for example, Anderson Silva, when he finally lost to Chris Weidman, he got an immediate rematch, and he reigned, he was dominant. I mean, he got his, but to not do the same for Chris Cyborg, I think it would suck, because you never know how the second fight is going to go. This is the first fight. Chris Cyborg is allowed to analyze the mistakes that she made, which she already did, like post-fight. She knew exactly what she did wrong. And I think that the same way that people believed it was going to go 5 rounds and be close, I thought that that's exactly what we may see in the second. But if we don't get an immediate rematch, how do we know? The same with Joanna Jędrzejczyk and Rose Namajunas. They had an immediate rematch. Joanna knocked out in the first. She still got her immediate rematch. So what's so different about Cyborg? She should be able to try and redeem herself. And granted, the result may not change. Amanda Nunes could get it done by decision this time, or she could knock her out again in the first. We don't know, but that's the point of this fight. 51 seconds is not enough for people. We want to see what'll happen if it goes further than just 1 round.
Yeah, like I'm sure you mentioned too, it was the same for me. After it was over and I stopped screaming and calmed down, I was waiting for him to okay, are we gonna fight again? Because it was almost too quick for us. Like Amanda, I'm sure Amanda, you've seen it. She went crazy and started running around and got the belts and had her moment. First ever simultaneous 2-weight world champion as a woman. But it seemed like for fans, that was so much anticipation and so much build-up, and it was over in 51 seconds.
That's the thing. You build this fight up to be the greatest women's fight in the history of MMA, and we got it 51 seconds. There's no way I'm satisfied with that. And I know a lot of people are wondering, well, what does Cyborg do next? Does she get the immediate rematch? Does she fight someone else? Should she fight someone else? And right now, I don't see someone outside of someone like Megan Anderson maybe at 145 because they were supposed to fight for the inaugural title when it was first introduced a few years ago. She could be next in line. I don't know. But for me, Cyborg deserves a rematch. It wouldn't be fair for her to just move on and then have to work her way back to the title. That was pretty much made for someone like Cyborg.
Yeah, I believe she deserves it, but I don't think they'll do it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And she's on the last fight of her contract, and they have it in your contract where if you have one fight left, you can shop around. And I don't know if this is true or not. It's come from Chael Sonnen, and we all know Chael. I heard an interview from Chael just a few hours ago saying that Cyborg denied the UFC's re-sign, and she just wants to see what other people will pay her. You know, she wants to shop around and see what she's worth. I predicted this before the fight. I predicted this months ago. I think, and I said this a long time ago, I said Amanda's going to beat her, and she's going to go to Bellator because her and Scott Coker have worked together before, you know.
Exactly.
And Bellator has legit 145ers. Julia Budd. They've got legit people that Cyborg can fight at 145. I believe within the next 8 months, we'll see Cyborg sign in with Bellator.
Yeah, no, I honestly agree with that. I know that she said that she was inching closer to retirement, and if it wasn't retirement, I know she wasn't that happy with the UFC because of a lack of contenders and just a lack of direction in terms of what she was supposed to do with her championship, because she was just destroying everyone else. So this super fight was the next big thing for her to, you know, finally have, okay, you're going to cement your status. This is for 145, stuff like that. And now that she's lost, she doesn't have the negotiation power anymore. She just lost her title. So if she does go to Bellator, I would love to see that, because the first name off of my head was definitely Julia Budd, and I believe she just won her other title defense recently. So I would love to see something like that. And I know that Scott Coker and Chris Cyborg's relationship is great, so I think she'd be better suited over in that division. And if she were to come back to the UFC, I would love to see the rematch with Amanda Nunes, and we'll see what a second time around looks like.
So I mentioned Holly Holm. Do you agree that's what's next? Because if you think about it, she's fought everybody. She's fought Ronda.
Yeah.
She fought Cyborg. She fought Shayna Baszler back in the day. She fought Valentina Shevchenko twice and won both. A split decision and a unanimous decision. The only name on Amanda Nunes' list that's not there is Holly Holm.
Yeah, I think at this point, Amanda Nunes is going to take some time, just obviously relish in the fact that she is the first women's dual champion. And right now, she doesn't need to necessarily be in a rush to get back inside the cage. I know a lot of people would love to see her back immediately just to see what the follow-up performance to something like a Cyborg KO would look like. So if Holly Holm can get past Aspen Ladd, I'm not entirely sure if that fight is official just yet, but that was what was being reported. If she can get past someone like Aspen Ladd, then 100% Holly Holm should be fighting Amanda Nunes at 135 pounds.
Yeah, because Holly's kind of too little for 145, and I seen a bunch of fans saying, "Well, now we're finally gonna get to see Shevchenko Nunes at 145," and I tweeted them like, "Are you fucking crazy?" Shevchenko is a 125er. She is not fighting at 145.
Absolutely not. I think that's even ridiculous to consider that an idea. And I think Amanda Nunes said it best. What's the point in a trilogy? I already beat her twice. I mean, she's doing her thing right now with the flyweight division. Let her reign over there for a few more fights, and then who knows? Maybe a trilogy could happen. I don't know. Another champion versus champion thing could happen. But for me, I don't think it's necessary. I would much rather see Amanda Nunes fight someone like Holly Holm.
Yeah, for sure. And I've always been a Holly supporter. You know, Holly's one of those. Yeah. She dethroned Ronda. You know, and arguably, I watched that fight with Cyborg. Holly Holm, before Amanda, Holly Holm was the only one that actually made Cyborg look a little human.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said that outside of the Amanda Nunes fight, Holly Holm definitely gave her toughest fight, because I believe that was the first time in a good while, maybe like a decade, that Chris Cyborg actually went to decision in a fight. Usually it's a TKO or a KO in like the earlier rounds, but this wasn't the case with Holly Holm. So that's why I'm interested in seeing how a fight between her and Nunes would play out.
Busted her nose all over her face. Cyborg said that Holly was the first person to give her a bloody nose in years.
Exactly. So you never know what kind of fight that Holly Holm and Amanda Nunes would fight. They both beat the same women. I mean, it'd be interesting to see what would happen. Yeah, exactly.
Like, thinking about it now, I don't know who I would lean with.
I honestly don't know. I'm obviously, like I said before, it's probably recency bias. I would have to lean with Amanda Nunes only because of what she did. But I think if that fight does become official in the next few months, it's definitely worth looking at someone like Holly Holm and her fighting style and see how that matches up against someone like Amanda Nunes, who is full of pressure. She's going to walk you down no matter what. But Holly works definitely better on the outside. She's a great kickboxer, and maybe Amanda Nunes hasn't had to deal with somebody like that just yet. So it'd be interesting to see how she would adjust for someone like Holly Holm. She's a longer, rangier opponent. Same with, I think, Chris Cyborg, but they were the same height. I just think Cyborg had a little bit of an arm reach advantage over her, but Holly Holm has way more of that. So, and she's a taller fighter. I mean, there's a lot of variables that can make it a difficult fight for Amanda Nunes, but we just don't know. We just know how good Amanda Nunes is right now and has always been, considering her performance against Miesha Tate, Ronda Rousey, Valentina, and now Chris Cyborg. So we'll have to see. I'm definitely interested in that fight, though.
And I forgot all about Aspen Ladd. I'd seen the tweet, but I forgot all about it till you just reminded me. Holly's got to get past that first. And Aspen Ladd, she's no joke.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried, though. It could be a rush for Aspen Ladd. Yeah, exactly. It could be way too soon for someone like Aspen Ladd to fight a former champion in Holly Holm. But crazier things have happened. We honestly don't know. Maybe Aspen Ladd has Holly Holm's kryptonite. I don't know. We'll just have to see if that's even official yet. Like I said, I still don't know if it's official. I think they're still working on it. But that's a big test for Aspen Ladd.
So speaking of crazy, and we'll move on to our last topic before we get off here. And I appreciate you, by the way. It's been a good episode, good conversation.
Thank you.
The woman knows her MMA. Speaking of crazy, the craziest shit I've ever seen probably just happened with Tenshin Nakasawa and Floyd Money Mayweather. Now, I was on board. So it was official, and then it wasn't official, and then like Floyd said it was happening, and then it wasn't happening, and then it's happening. I said from the beginning, if the kid can't kick, I don't care. Were you the same way?
Right.
Like if it's just boxing, or if there's no special rules, like give him elbows, give him kicks, let him be able to kick you for just one round, like something crazy like that, If it wasn't MMA or kickboxing, I wasn't interested.
I mean, we knew what was going to happen with this fight, and we know that if it's not on Floyd Mayweather's terms, it's not going to happen. So if you're going to try and be in his background with boxing and stuff like that, and you're not necessarily a boxer, what other option is there for you than to get beat by a boxer? That's exactly what happened. You're the smaller guy. You're not a boxer. You're going up against arguably the greatest of all time in boxing, who does what he does best. We saw it with the Conor McGregor fight. We saw it in the Tenshin fight. I mean, if you are somebody that is outside of the boxing realm and you're going to go and try and do it against the greatest, I would say 10 times out of 10, you're not going to be able to do what everyone predicts. And the fact that he couldn't kick, I just knew that was going to be a condition. I just know, because Floyd Mayweather is not going to be able to, he's not going to allow you to do something that would affect him greatly unless he's making the shots, he's calling the shots. If he says, yeah, you can land one kick on me, cool. But we know Floyd Mayweather is never going to do something like that. So it's always going to be on his terms. I wasn't interested in the fight because I didn't care. I mean, I'm a great fan of Tenshin, but when he's doing what he does best, I really didn't care about him fighting in boxing against someone like Floyd Mayweather, who from the beginning did not take this seriously. So why should I take it seriously?
One thing that stuck out like right away, and Floyd is little. Floyd is a little man. Like when they did the face-off with Conor, Conor is a way bigger man than Floyd, and Floyd towered over this little kid. Like he was 5'4". The kid was 5'4" and 137 pounds. Floyd was 5'9" or 5'8", I believe, and 147 pounds. Now 10 pounds don't seem like much, but that's like if that's the first time I've ever seen Floyd tower over somebody.
Exactly. That's why I was like, it's not going to be competitive as much as people wanted it to be, and I totally get it. I know everyone wants to see that one person that's going to be able to do what no one has done against Floyd Mayweather. But this was just not one of those fights. No one took this seriously. Maybe Tension did, obviously, because he wanted to be the first to defeat Floyd Mayweather, but it wouldn't have even mattered. What would he have got from that? I can't even tell you. So that fight was just something else.
So it starts, and Floyd he literally is coming out with his hand. He was like throwing little arm whiffs at him. Like he wasn't even trying to punch him. And then he hits him kind of, the first knockdown was legit. Like or it wasn't the second one. I think it was the second one where he hits him on the chin and he falls.
Yeah.
But the second knockdown was legit. But the first one kind of looked a little, and then the one where he went flying across the ring and his corner throws in the towel, people are screaming fixed. You know, Brennan Schaub said fixed. You know, people are. Yeah. First off, if it was fixed, you would have Tension beating Floyd, not Floyd beating Tension. You know, like you're not gonna want the opposite person to win. And if you did fix it, Ryzen wouldn't want Floyd to get over on Tension, so I don't think it was fixed, but I think something's fishy because it looked weird. It looked very weird.
Yeah, and I think I get why people would say that it looks like a fix, but with all exhibition matches in that sense, where it's the greatest of all time taking on one of the best that we have in the promotion. And he gets dominated. I get it. I get why people want to say it was a fix and stuff like that, but you just got paid $9 million for like a few minutes of work, and you took out the promotions or one of the promotion's biggest stars. Like you said, if it was going to be a fix, it'd have to be the opposite way around. We'd have to see someone, we'd have to see Mayweather get wobbled or Mayweather get dropped. We have to see that. We didn't see any of that. So I honestly don't get why people are saying it's a fix, because certain spots in the fight, and a lot of them were saying it looked like a WWE match, which I totally get. But it wasn't a fix. It was a legitimate fight, if that's what you want to say.
One thing I think that Floyd did, I think Floyd, after that first knockdown, was like, oh my God, this kid can't do shit to me. And I think once he noticed that he can't do shit, then Floyd's like, I'm just going to get out of here really quick.
Yeah, I mean, how else would you take a fight like that? What other approach would you do? Because he even said he didn't train for the fight. He wasn't remotely prepared, but at that point, you really don't need to be. I mean, you know that you're a better boxer than this person, and this is a boxing match at the end of the day. Sometimes you don't need to prepare yourself, and this was Tension's, I believe, his first venture into boxing. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it's your first time in boxing and you're taking on the greatest of all time, like I said, 10 times out of 10, you're probably not going to be the one to dethrone him. I think Conor McGregor gave a hell of an effort, but we saw how that ended up, and we knew exactly how it was going to end up. So when this fight was announced, I think everyone was shocked, but only because it was like, it's so out of left field. This makes absolutely no sense. And then you saw it, and you're like, yeah, this is why it makes no sense, because we knew exactly what was going to happen.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've seen this or not, and I don't know if this is real or not, but they said in the contract that he got 9 million Japanese yen. So I looked it up, and I had a reporter look it up for me. A 9 million yen is 82,000 American dollars. And the reporter told me, he's like, Floyd's going to be so mad when he cashes that. So I don't know if that's real, but I had a real reporter tell me that $9 million is in yen, which is Japan money, and that's only $82K American.
I did not see that because all the reporting was saying he got $9 million.
$9 million that's yen.
Oh my, if that was the case, because Floyd Mayweather doesn't get out of bed unless it's like for multiple millions of dollars. So that'd be so, oh man, that'd be crazy if that was the case.
And Floyd, he don't read shit. Like, he probably was just like, 9 million, fucking sign me up. And they were like, no, we mean 9 million Japanese dollars.
Oh man, that'd be one hell of a story.
I did see that. Mike Russell, Mike Russell on Twitter, the dude who did all that shit about Ali, who broke all that stories about Ali.
Yes, I'm familiar with him.
Yeah, if you'll go to his page, it's up there. He said that Floyd has no clue that he only made $82,000.
Oh no! Well, I would hope that that's not the case, but we'll have to see.
It sounds weird because you have lawyers and managers, but if that's real, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, his manager, Leonard Ellerby, is not going to allow that to happen. Somebody should have caught that, and I think that they may have. But if that was the case, wow.
Yeah, because I told my wife about it. I was like, Floyd don't do shit for less than $100 million. Imagine him going to the bank and being like, yeah, $9 million, give me my $9 million, and they hand him $82K.
He would be pissed off because his name is Money. It's Floyd Money Mayweather. Come on, you can't do that to someone like that.
I'm waiting for that to be a big story here in a couple of days.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
Well, I thank you so much for coming on and taking the time to actually have some good conversations with me.
Well, thank you for having me. I hope we could do it again soon.
Yes, definitely. I'll get you on very soon. I'll stay in contact.
Awesome. Sounds good. Take care, okay?
I really enjoy your work, too, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're definitely, like I said, we don't have many women that do what we do, and when you see a woman have as much passion, and it's not just a woman thing or a man thing, it's passion. Yeah. It's about love. I love MMA. I watch MMA, study MMA. My youngest son is named after Nate Diaz, like...
Oh, that's adorable.
MMA is my life, basically, and for somebody, we don't really see it that much in women, as far as journalists, not fighters. The fighters have that passion, but it's great to see that passion goes farther than you would imagine.
100%. I'm okay with the weird looks when I tell people what I do for a living, but I hope that just becomes more common as we continue to go on. But I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to do what I do. And, I couldn't ask for anything else.
Yes, thank you so much, and I will tag you as soon as I upload them.
Awesome. Take care.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Sorry, it clicked up into 2 parts. I was right in the middle of recording when somebody called me. So I'm going to have to upload, interview with Kristen King part 1, and then I'll upload interview with Kristen King part 2 because somebody called. So it'll be in 2 parts, but that's no big deal, I'm sure. Thank you guys so much for listening. Go check out Kristen King on Twitter. She's taken over the fucking game for females. New up-and-coming female reporter of the year.